Luck stays with those who work for their dreams, says YY Noodle King Mr. Binod Chaudhary. Mr. Binod Chaudhary एक अलग किस्म के बिलियनेयर है। वो अपनी कमाई के बड़ा हिस्सा फिलैंथ्रोपी में स्पेंड करते हैं। हाल में नेपाल के अर्थक्वेक में बहुत नुकसान हुआ। Mr. Chaudhary ने through CG Foundation spent huge amounts in relief work. Mr. Chaudhary जो नेपाल में रहते हैं एक ट्रू ब्लू इंटरनेशनल बिजनेसमैन है जिनके over 80 businesses in 30 countries हैं। उनके businesses include banking, telecom, hotels, infrastructure and education. Mr. Binod Chaudhary is helped in his empire by his 3 young sons. So let's catch up with him as he's visiting from Nepal. मैं हूं नीवा जैन. Welcome to Zee Business and welcome to the Big Idea. Hello, Mr. Chaudhary. Welcome to the Big Idea. What a pleasure. What an honor. You're here straight from Nepal. Firstly, I must ask you, Mr. Chaudhary, you're third generation. Lekin you have defied that myth that the third generation generally loses it all. Kaise kiya? How have you done it?
Well, I mean, I am third generation.
Yes,
if you look at, if you go back to the history from where my grandfather started some 120 years ago, coming from Rajasthan, going all the way to Nepal. But you know, really, in a relatively big way, the journey had just started. So you can put it that my grandfather and father laid down a solid foundation, you know, which needed a different level of energy to be taking it forward.
Correct.
And that's what one was destined to have done over the last 40 years.
I mean, it's amazing. I don't mean to interrupt you, but at age 18, you took over the helm of a fairly modest, successful company, and where you've taken it. I mean, it defies logic. It's dreamy. The quality is almost surreal. It couldn't have been easy, sir.
Well, I mean, you know, size is relative. So is success, isn't it?
Yeah, very relative.
I mean, but I've always said that despite coming from a small country, this small man from a small country always had big dreams.
The first billionaire of Nepal, how modest you are.
I think, you know, at the end of the day, I also believe that there is no monopoly of a big company or a big country or someone coming from a big family, well-known family.
Beautiful.
Or someone who has gone to, you know, schools like B schools like the Wharton or whatever, Harvard.
Stanford, you said it,
sir. You just don't. It's the hunger right here, and it's the vision here.
Right here.
And if you're supported by the right set of circumstances, people, I always believe that meeting the right person at the right time is equally important at the right moment. So it's all, and rest, a little bit destiny too.
Destiny. Well, I want to add in, I mean, I'm backtracking a little bit, but you made a very interesting comment in one of your interviews where you said, yes, luck plays a huge role, but beyond the component of luck, there's a lot more involved.
Absolutely. I mean, luck probably does that finishing, gives you that finishing touch, you know.
Yes, beautiful.
You know, like if you're a golfer, you may hit a beautiful ball when sometimes it just touches the hole. Sometimes it goes in and sometimes it goes out.
Good one. That's a good metaphor.
Yeah,
so
so
true.
it's steady. That's where the luck plays.
Yes. Great
but
metaphor.
luck can't take the ball to the ball.
Beautiful. What a metaphor, Mr. Chaudhary. Achha, I want to ask you, when you started at the age of 18, your toughest moment in the beginning?
Oh my God. It was a nightmare. I mean, you know, I was not mentally prepared. You know, I was running with a friend of mine, the first discotheque of the country. Like anybody else, you know.
At age 18.
The priorities were different.
Who had dreams of being a chartered accountant.
Yes, and I wanted to come to, go to Mumbai to do my CA. Mumbai was a city, you know, it was like a dream city.
My God.
And then suddenly the life changed. I mean, and I realized that my whole world crumbled down in terms of my dreams.
Correct. Oh, you felt that way?
Personal level, because my father had to be, you know, completely sort of taken a back seat. And the people who he had entrusted, and I've written this in my autobiography, you know, they had different agendas. So it was 180-degree turn.
My God.
and then there was very little choice. So it was really not a matter of choice. It was a responsibility. It was an obligation, and also, you know, somewhere deep inside there was a sense. There was a sense of doing whatever it takes to not let my father, who was unwell at that time after having spent perhaps 40 years he started even younger than me. When my grandfather used to go and sell clothes in the Rana palaces, sometimes he used to carry those physically, you know. So he had a dream of his own size.
That's what propelled you, your father.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I must tell you, sir, in all the people we've interviewed for The Big Idea, everyone, no matter where their father comes from, it's the father who propelled them.
I have no doubt about it.
When you started, that time at age 18, what was the energy that propelled you in each step of the way? Was it YY Noodle King that was the first big fat break? What would you say was your first big fat break?
No, not really. You know, I mean, before that, we were in the business of importing and exporting
the garments.
I mean, we had put together, which was a very well-known department store in Nepal.
Okay.
You know, Nepal used to be the shopping hub for Indians.
Yes.
Hong Kong and Singapore were foreign countries.
Far behind, exactly.
Okay, Nepal was not. People used to come to Nepal to go to Pashupatinath, to go and play at the casino and to come and shop at Arun Emporium.
I did do that 30 years ago. I remember that. You're right.
You remember Arun Emporium, right?
Yes, that's right.
Okay,
sir,
so that was a. So we took that to the next level, and then we produced. And I must give credit to my father. You know, he was very much the leader. The first biscuit factory of the country, competing with Britannias and Parleys. Reversing the whole process, we used to get biscuits from India, but we started sending biscuits out to northeast of India. And then that followed starting a flour mill and plenty, so much more flour to do.
My God.
What do you do with that? We had to find something.
Yeah.
And as luck would have it, while traveling back from Bangkok to Nepal, saw boxes of a product, you know, on the bag, the big fat idea.
Unbelievable. The
YY, that's how I was born.
YY Noodle King.